Hi, good evening. You're tuned in to Unleashed with hostess Dog Whisperette, and my guest today is Chris
Stovall. I'm with Applacian Animal Clinic in Cleveland, Tennessee. I'm the practice manager there.
And are you dealing with fleas? Have you just been years that you can't eradicate them and they're just like taking over the world? Well, I think I'm in that fight and I'm losing. And so I have invited Chris to come here today because she says there's actually different steps that you have to take to actually eradicate the fleas. You can't just treat your dog and expect the fleas to be gone. So Chris, can you tell us, you told me there's 3 steps. What are the 3 steps?
Yes, there are 3 steps. The first step would be to treat every pet in the household, and then you're going to want to treat the environment. And the environment is a twofold treatment. It's going to be treating the house, and it's going to be treating the yard. And so we suggest that if you do that over a period of 3 months, it breaks the cycle because you're killing the adult fleas and you're waiting for the eggs to hatch and killing them as well in the environment and on the pets.
Okay, what if your house is like mine is connected to different yards? How do you treat your environment? Can you set like a boundary or?
You can. What I normally do in my yard, because I have 5 acres and obviously I'm not going to treat the whole 5 acres. So I treat the area that is most commonly used by my pets, and I use granules that you can get from Walmart, Lowe's, Home Depot, Tractor Supply. And in the granules, it's going to state that it will kill fleas and ticks and, of course, other spiders and other things as well. You're going to sprinkle the granules around your yard the same way you would if you were sprinkling grass seed. You use water to activate it, and because you don't have to do it again for 90 days, there's your first 3-month part of the cycle started, of the killing process of the fleas. And then you're going to treat your house. You can either do that with bombs or you can do that professionally. That's your choice as to what you can afford. And then of course, then you come back and treat the pets. And so you're going to want to treat all cats and dogs that come in and out of the house. But if you've treated your yard, anything that hitches a ride on your clothing is going to also not be there to catch the ride on your clothing to be brought into the home.
Is there any specific brand that does work, doesn't work?
Most brands work pretty well. The ones that have been around the longest, Frontline, Advantage, Advantix, those things that you can pick up at Petco, PetSmart, Walmart, I believe even carries some of those products, are good. However, because they're a topical product, if you put them on the pet and you're bathing every week, you're going to lessen the effectiveness of the product. It's going to cause it to dilute down a little bit. What I recommend are peels. And they do make a flea pill. One would be Bravecto. Bravecto is a 3-month pill, and because it's a 3-month pill, it's a great way to fight and to break the cycle because you're covered. One pill will do you for 90 days. And because of that, it helps to really, if you use that in conjunction with the granules, that's at least 30 days or 90 days of your flea kill cycle. So then you just need to make sure you're treating the house.
Do you have to have to go to a vet to get the Bravecto?
You do. You have to go to a vet to get the Bravecto. Most vets, if you're seeing your vet on a regular basis, they should be able to tell you about the product. The product does run around $64, but if you think about what a product costs, if you're going to Walmart and you're buying Advantage or you're buying Frontline, it costs you around $20 anyway. And this you're getting in a 1-dose stop, and then you give the pill and you're good. Plus it covers ticks.
Now, if they did want topical, what would you recommend?
Bravecto also makes a topical as well. And the other topicals most common would be Frontline or Advantage.
And that's from Walmart? Or?
You can get that at Walmart, Petco, PetSmart, at your vet's office and different things.
The inside the house, is there, you said the bombs, is there
it would be,
brand?
If it was me, I would check with an exterminator to come and do it because their products are going to be very consistent and guaranteed.
Yeah, and by the time you waste money on stuff that doesn't work, then you could have paid for an exterminator probably 100 times, you know?
Yes, exactly. Most commonly, if you'll just treat the pets and treat the yard, it does really, really, really work on killing the cycle.
So that's fleas and ticks, correct?
Fleas and ticks. And you can use, there's another product called NexGard and Credelio. Those are also pills. For cats, you also want to treat the cats. Revolution, Cheristin, Bravecto is also for cats.
And all that's from vets?
Yes, all from vets.
Okay.
And now you can get Advantage and or Frontline for cats as well. You're just going to have to look for it. And because it's a cat and a flea product, you're going to want to be extremely careful that you don't put a dog product on a cat. Dog flea products on a cat will kill a cat.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've actually seen that happen.
Yes.
I didn't do it, but I seen that the guy got it mixed up.
Yes.
And it wasn't a pretty sight. So
No.
really, really read the label.
Yes.
Because it says right on the bottle, for cats, not
does.
for dogs.
Right, right.
For, so
Right.
if you just take the time to read.
Yes.
And make sure you get it right, because it was horrible. It was a horrible
And
death.
if you happen to put the wrong product on, bathe immediately.
Bathe
Bathe immediately.
And what about charcoal tablets? Do you think that
Charcoal
would work?
tablets, not so much on that because it's going to hit the neurological system.
Okay.
Bath immediately.
Okay.
The
hear
minute
that, guys?
you realize that you've put the wrong product on your cat, bathe immediately.
Okay. And what about if you put the cat product on the dog?
Won't hurt anything.
Really?
It won't hurt anything because the cat product has a lesser amount. It probably won't work.
So you're just poisoning your dog for nothing.
You're just adding product that you're going to have to add more to.
Okay. Okay, so our next topic is, and something I really wasn't aware of growing up, or even for the past, maybe since I started dog training, is that if the pavement's hard on your feet, it's hot on your dog's feet.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
And I've seen pictures. So what actually can a hot pavement do on a dog's paw?
It quite literally can blister their pads, and it can do damage and burn the bottom of their feet. The hot pavement, if it's hot to your bare feet, it's hot to their feet. I realize that their pads are a little rougher than ours, but we have seen in our clinic dogs where the owners are good about exercising, but you're exercising them at the strongest, hottest part of the day.
Yeah.
And when they're doing that, it's literally burning their feet.
And there's ways.
Or if you have a pool and you're letting the dog run around the pool, and the concrete around the pool gets really hot.
I never thought about that. Yes.
That it will burn their feet as well. So you have to be conscientious of what time of the day, if you have a pool area or you're walking your pet when it's hot, that you're letting their feet touch pavement or concrete.
And another thing you was telling me about was
Yes.
in the back of a vehicle.
Yes, the back of the vehicle. If you're someone who kennels your pets in the back of a vehicle, be aware that that bottom of that carrier gets extremely hot in the summertime. And if you're not taking that carrier in and out, and you take the dog out, you take it to the park, and you go to put it back in, it's always wise to put some water down in the bottom of that carrier, cool that off a little bit, because it'll burn their feet too.
Good information. Yes. So if you put them in there, put the water. What
Yes.
about putting a towel or something?
Yeah,
in
you
there?
could put a wet towel. That's
Yeah.
a great idea.
Yeah.
Plus,
So-
it'll cool them off as they're going down the road.
Right.
That's always a good
Because there's some
idea.
people who do, that's their only way that they can
Yes,
transport
yes,
their
absolutely.
animal. And so, there's these ideas that you can give them
Yes.
to help stop that. It's awesome.
And while we're here on heat, let's talk about heat stroke or heat exhaustion.
Yeah, okay.
It's a very popular thing this time. I mean, we all have a lot of outside pets. We know people who have outside
Yes.
pets. Not everybody can have a pet in the house.
Exactly, yes.
So I'm not knocking that, but what I do want to do is place a caution to the people who have outside pets. Ensure that your pet has ample fresh water, not water that's been there for days because it gets hot during the day. Refresh that water every day. Make sure they can access it from wherever they're chained up or whether it's in their fence. And also they need a shade, not just a doghouse. The doghouse gets really hot inside if it's out in the direct sun, and it really does not protect them as well as it turns into an oven when they're in it.
Sure.
So
I
you
can
need some
imagine.
shade or shade trees to deposit that doghouse under to help give them area that they can lay on the ground in without being in the direct sun.
So you could put a tarp up.
You could put a tarp up. You could go to Lowe's and get shade cloth. Shade cloth works well,
Oh,
so they're
wow.
getting a little
Never
bit of
heard of
sun
that.
through, but it's giving them a good amount of shade. It's really cheap and easy to put up. If your pet happens to have a heat stroke, some of the signs are going to be excessive drooling. They're just really panting very heavy. They can't seem to cool off. Their tongue is extremely red. Their eyes are going to be a little red. Their gums are going to be very red. They may not be themselves. They may appear drunk, disoriented. They can even collapse. And if this does happen, then what you're going to want to do is take that dog to the shade. There can also be vomiting and diarrhea going on, and you're going to want to take a water hose or in the tub, cool water. Don't fill them full of ice and things like that. We don't want to shock them. We just want to start cooling that body temp off. If your dog has reached the point of collapse and vomiting and diarrhea, then what you're going to want to do is contact your vet. And I would recommend doing that anyway, just to ensure that the dog's going to be okay.
Yeah.
Because we see it every year. And this summer is going to prove to be an extremely hot one. And because it's going to be so hot, we're anticipating at least one death this summer. We've had 1 to 2 deaths every summer. It's been really, really hot due to heat stroke.
So say you have your dog and it's got heat stroke. You're not around water. You don't have any access to water. What other steps could you do?
Well, are you talking about in the instance of being like at a dog park or something where the dog's been very excited? Yes. You're going to need to put that animal in your car in an air conditioner, and you're going to need to go immediately to the vet.
Okay. Good information. And we were going to also cover...
Oh, one of the big things this time of year that goes right along with thinking about fleas and ticks, heartworms. Heartworms are a big deal where dogs are concerned, and in our area, 1 in 36 dogs are positive.
Is that more prevalent now than it used to be? Because I know when I was growing up, or maybe it just wasn't known.
I think when you and I were growing up, it was more that they weren't tested.
I
think it was pure ignorance. It wasn't that it wasn't common. It was very common. I think that it has become something in the veterinary world, as in the medical world, with years of learning, and you learn new things, you learn better ways to take care of your pets. And I think heartworms and heartworm treatment, that is something that has come along with time. And I do feel that it's something that's near and dear to my heart. I rescued a dog 2 years ago that was heartworm positive when he came to me. He was a young dog. He was less than 2, and his heartworm disease was so advanced that we were surprised. Because normally, what happens is when you draw the blood and you run in the test, it will light up. It'll have dots on top that will turn to tell us how positive they are. And he lit the whole screen up, which doesn't happen in young dogs. And he'd been chained up in someone's yard. Oh. It just meant that his disease started early. And because it started early, it was really advanced early.
Kind of like Lyme's.
Kind of like Lyme's. And so adopting him and going through the treatment, it's so easy to prevent.
Yeah.
And for those of you who don't know, heartworms are transferred by mosquitoes. It's not a pet-to-pet transfer like worms and other things that your pets can get. It is truly transferred only by mosquitoes. And the medication does only come from a veterinarian's office that you can properly treat your pets monthly. It's a prevention. It so is easy to prevent it. It's a pill a month. Or you can do 1 shot twice a year. It's your choice as to how you do it. If you're someone who doesn't want to keep up with the pill, we've made it a no-brainer. Come in and get an injection. You're good for 6 months. And then we'll send you a reminder, and you come back in 6 months and get another injection.
And that's with any vet, not...
That's with any vet.
Okay.
That's any vet. And it makes it simple. It just really makes it easy for those of us who, like me, are really, really busy. And it's actually what I use with mine. I do the injection twice a year, and then I don't have to think about the pill every month.
Because we're all very forgetful. You know,
right.
The younger we get, our memory
Well, not only that, for me, what I end up doing, and this is a suggestion for all of you guys out there, what I end up doing is I buy 6 months worth supply of Bravecto. So I've covered, and then I'm protected for the whole time that my 6 months Pro Heart injection is working. And then I only have to think about having to give it and buy more medication when I go back for my appointment for the other.
Well, there you go. There's some more good information and good advice, and it's just awesome. Yes. Now, what's some signs that we should look for if our dog has heartworms?
Okay, so first and foremost, coughing. They're going to cough, and it's going to be, the best way to describe it is like a smoker's cough. It's that really deep chested, like they're trying to hack something up. You're going to see them not wanting to move around as much. Like we'll say the year before, they might be really excited and run around and play, and life is good and all is going well. And then all of a sudden the next year, they're coughing a little bit in the summertime or in the wintertime. You notice they're not wanting to move around. They just want to lay around. It seems any exertion that they're doing is extremely hard on them. They get tired really easy. You might even see some abdominal weight gain because it can work on the heart, because that's where obviously they go, is in the heart. And when the heart is struggling to pump the blood through, but it's full of worms, then it can cause other issues, and it can cause heart attack.
Oh. So what percentage of dogs are you seeing? Did you say?
It's 1 in 36.
Wow.
In our area. It's extremely common. We have a lot of water. We live in a great, beautiful area. We have a lot of water in Southeast Tennessee.
Yeah.
We have a lot of water in the Chattanooga area. Plus, we've had some rain, and we water our lawn. And mosquitoes are nifty little critters. They lay eggs and everything.
Oh, I know.
And they swarm us in the summertime. So
yeah,
anywhere there's standing water, there's mosquitoes. And one other thing, and I hear this every day, no kidding. My dog lives in the house.
Yeah.
It doesn't go outside, so it doesn't need to be on heartworm prevention. So I have to ask you, for those people that is your argument, have you ever had a mosquito chase you around in your house and you've tried to kill it while you're watching TV?
Yeah, well.
I kind of rest my case on that one.
There you
because
go.
that one,
Right.
it's the
Nothing's
same.
foolproof.
Nothing's foolproof.
So.
Those little boogers can get into anywhere.
Oh, yes.
I feel like they're going to live well after all of us are gone.
They will, bones and roaches and fleas.
right.
Just don't name them. You won't miss them.
And I will tell you, if your dog does have heartworms, unless your dog is in compromised health, they can survive.
That was going to be my next question,
survive.
the survival rate.
It's actually really good. You would be surprised. I've even seen dogs that we really probably didn't think would make it, and the owners just couldn't give them up, and they made it and lived another couple of years, even in old age. So they can get through it, and they can survive it. So
the heartworms actually get eradicated?
Yes.
Or, yes.
You can kill them. You can fully kill them, but they can be reinfected. So it's not like if you have a puppy that catches parvo, it's one of those deals they're never going to catch parvo again. That's not how heartworms work. If your dog is cured of heartworms, it can be reinfected with heartworms if you're not using prevention.
Well, that's just like with us.
Exactly.
We get, what would mosquitoes give us? Zika and everything.
Yes, right.
And
also it affects cats. Cats are heartworm positive as well.
Really? I did not know that.
They do. And there is a prevention. There's preventions out there for cats as well. Revolution has come out with it's their new Revolution Plus, new this year, came out in the early spring, and it does cover heartworms as well, plus fleas and ticks.
So what do they actually use to kill heartworms? Is it an
We
antibiotic?
don't treat cats for heartworms.
Well, what about with the dogs?
With the dogs, you're going to start with antibiotics for the first 30 days, because what happens is the heartworms build up an infection in the bloodstream, which leads to the cough. So the idea is we want to clear the infection out of the bloodstream, and we want to get them to where they're not coughing. Sometimes that does require some prednisone. During that time, we're going to give them a heart guard or some type of heartworm pill. We're going to start that. The next month, we're going to give them just the heartworm pill. The month after that, which is month 3, after they were diagnosed, we're going to start the injection. It'll be one injection, and it is near the back. It is near the spine and the lower back, and they'll stay one night with us. The first month is one injection. They'll wait 30 days, and they'll come back in for their last 2 injections, given back-to-back days. And then they'll go home, and they still have to. Now, during this time frame, they are remaining inactive. You have to walk them on a leash. They're not allowed to run and play or do anything, because as the heartworms are dying, we don't want them to clog the heart up. Activity can push things through a little quicker. We want the animals to remain as calm as possible. So we ask the owners to leash walk, not to play, and just to be tolerant while the animals are bored and kind of antsy, because they need this time to recover.
Right. And they probably don't feel well.
They
anyway.
don't. It was 6 months before mine felt better.
Yeah,
it really
sure.
was.
So, what is the cost? I know that's a lot of drawback for people that even take to have their dogs tested, because.
Well, testing's cheap.
Yeah, but when you find out,
right? Once you find
out of sight, out of mind.
Right,
there you
right,
go. So
right,
if you
right.
never know, you don't have to worry about it.
Once you get that very scary, your dog is heartworm positive, then what you're going to do is your doctor hopefully is going to discuss with you a plan, and it's a plan of action, which is best for your pet, and in that the cost is broken up over the months. So that does help.
Yes.
With my clinic, it's broken up in the first month is we're going to sell you your 6-month supply of heartworm medication. We're going to sell you your doxycycline. The next month, you've already got your heartworm pill, so you're going to give it so you can still be saving the money for the next. The first heartworm treatment, depending on the size of the animal, can be $250 to $300. And then the next month is going to be $500 to $600 on a small dog. On a large dog, we'll say of the 135-pound range, which we just diagnosed this past week, it's going to cost them probably like $1,200.
And do you do payment plans on that, or?
We do have ways that you can get help with that. There's a thing called Care Credit, and then we also have something called Compassionate Finance.
Oh, wow. So that's credit check for both? Or?
Nope, credit check for one and not a credit check for the other. Compassionate Finance is done with having an active, good standing checking account with a very light touch on your credit.
Okay. Is that every vet that does that, or is that
No,
just yours?
I don't know who else does it. That's something that we do.
So that's Applacian Animal Center?
Animal Clinic. Animal Clinic in Cleveland, Tennessee.
So if you think that your dog has heartworms, take it up there, you know.
It's a little bit of a drive, but it's worth it.
It is.
It is really worth it.
Well, that's your baby.
It is.
You know, and
it is.
I don't know what the vets charge around here. I mean, check out their prices.
Absolutely.
See if they offer that.
Absolutely.
And
absolutely.
You know, get them tested, because that would be such a horrible death.
It would be.
And you know they're suffering, especially if they're,
yes.
heartworms. I mean, just to think of it.
Yeah.
Just,
yeah.
Oh.
It's not good.
It's not good.
It's not a pretty going for sure. It's not. And the last thing that we're going to talk about while we've got about 9 minutes left, I want to leave you guys on vaccines. And there's a lot of conversation around vaccines as to when do you start? How long is it? Is it okay if I get vaccines from Tractor Supply? And how does all of that work? And then what about my kittens? And then at that point, where do we go from there? What we have to understand, there's many ways to do vaccines. Obviously, a lot of people go to Tractor Supply, Co-op, and other places to buy vaccines. Yeah. They buy vaccines offline. Your breeders do all of those things. I do recommend, truly, instead of going to Tractor Supply to buy your vaccines, I really recommend going to a vet. There's just so many benefits that you get from going to the vet that you don't get just going to get the vaccine and giving it yourself. It's so hard. It would be like me taking this piece of paper and saying, wow, this is a really healthy piece of paper, or me looking at you and saying, wow, you're a really healthy person, because we're looking at the outside. Right. When we look at our pet, we're looking at this cute little fuzzy wild ball of energy, but yet we can't tell what's underneath. And when you actually go to your doctor can tell you if it has parasites, if it has a heart murmur, because we've been seeing a lot of puppies that have heart murmurs lately. So there's a lot of other things that you benefit from by going to your vet and getting hooked in with someone who can be a part of your pet's health and life for the rest of their life. Okay. There are 4 sets of shots with puppies to ensure that they are safe from parvo. The first set begins normally around 6 to 7 weeks, and then it's 3 weeks thereafter. And towards the end, that last set of shots, they'll also get their rabies at that time.
Good. All right, so you hear that. And I do know that Tractor Supply offers a low cost.
Yes.
And there's actually a vet there, correct?
Yes, there are. They come through. They come through. There's always options.
That, the vet bill, what's your visit?
Yes.
You won't have to pay a vet visit, but, I think it's really low cost for the shots, and maybe the microchip.
Microchips, that's getting really popular, and it has helped us to be able to get a lot of pets back to their owners. Mm-hmm. Microchipping is just simply an injection in their back, and it's a very small little chip that goes under the skin, and it allows us to scan and to be able to hook that owner back up with the lost pet. Yeah, so those are pretty neat too.
So really, consider microchipping your animal, your baby, because when you lose an animal and you don't not know whatever happened to it, that little bit of amount you're going to spend for that microchip, it's going to pay for that, because I steal one for my little cat.
Right.
And I would even suggest a tracker. You know, even on some cats, put a tracker on them. I've seen where they offer that. But I would love
never
to
seen
see.
that. That would be interesting.
They do offer it. It's pet tracker. It goes up on their collar,
And
and you
does
watch
it-
on your phone.
Oh, how interesting.
You watch where they go. It's a
Oh,
GPS
my.
tracker.
Oh, my.
But yes.
I can see that being very funny. And in kittens, we also offer vaccines for kittens. Kittens tend to start about 7 or 8 weeks instead of 6 weeks. They start them a little older because kittens are so small.
Oh, yeah.
They're so very small. We want them to be a little bit older before we start giving injections. So more along the lines of 7 to 8 weeks, or even 8 to 9 weeks before starting that. And one other thing about starting your vaccines is you're going to find out whether they really have parasites. Some parasites, if you or someone or your children are playing with the puppies and they're handling the puppies and maybe get fecal material on their hands, and let's say it makes it to their mouth, or maybe they're eating, and what we don't want is there to be cross-contamination,
Right.
and you to end up with worms, or your children to end up with worms, which could happen.
It's common.
It does happen.
Yeah,
it does.
does.
It does happen. And then you're hooked in for when it comes time to spay and neuter, which could be lined up with the vaccines.
Yes, there you go.
So
But-
normally 2 months, the last set of vaccines is normally given around 4 months of age. And then after that's done, about another 2 months, and they're ready to be fixed.
So how old? That's what, 4
6 months.
6 months. I know a lot of these rescues do 4 months. Is that
Well,
good or bad?
They
Okay.
could. It depends. We've spayed them younger than that for some rescues. We do that. But if it's privately owned pet, the recommendation is closer to 6 months.
Is there a reason for that?
Well, it lets the females gain a little age and lets their bodies mature. Puppies sometimes can have what they call puppy vaginitis, which is that looks like slime in their urine, and we want them to mature a little bit so they don't have dribbling problems, because sometimes if they're spayed a little young, they can have incontinence issues.
Oh, is there
and they'll
any
drip a little
stop
bit.
for that? Is there any help
There's
for
some
that?
medication for that.
Because some people may be going through that right
Yeah,
now.
there's medication
and
for
not
that.
really knowing what's going on.
And it could be
So-
that their puppy was spayed too young. Now, neutering, no, you can neuter. If their testicles are dropped, you can neuter them as
soon as
early
they
as
drop.
4 months of age, yes.
Yeah, and it doesn't.
It does
I
not
hear a
affect
lot,
them.
and it does not affect the behavior of an animal.
No.
I hear a lot. Well, my dog is aggressive and this and that. If I get them fixed, it should fix the problem. But as a behaviorist, it does not fix the problem.
If you have a puppy, maybe. But as an adult dog, no.
Exactly.
No.
Exactly.
No. Absolutely not.
Well, it's things you're doing wrong. I mean, if we could neuter you,
Right.
maybe.
Oh, now we're treading where we shouldn't be.
Always.
And we also want to, when you're getting your pet their annual vaccines, you're keeping that relationship going with your doctor.
Yeah.
They get to know you, they get to know your pet. And at that time, you can get your heartworm test done and any other blood work that's going on. They learn your pet. They learn you. You learn them. It's a relationship forged. And it's just a really good thing to
Right.
do.
Well, that's like your child's doctor. I want to
True.
know.
Yeah.
I go, and a lot of vets, do you let the people go back when you weigh the animal?
Oh, they're with us, yes. And they're with us when the dog's getting vaccines.
Because I went to one vet, and I'm not going to name it, but they wouldn't let you go back with the dog being weighed.
Oh.
And to me, you already, and I talked to them about it, you already have an unstable nervous dog.
Right.
And when you take
Right.
that unstable nervous dog away from its leader or its family, you're going to have a more reactive dog.
Correct. Well, one of the things that we pride ourselves on at our clinic is we work as close to fear-free as possible.
Yep.
And that's something that we are working harder and harder and harder on, but we do things a little differently. We don't, quote unquote, manhandle
Right.
animals.
Right.
We do a lot of treats, a lot of food.
Positive reinforcement.
We do. And sometimes for those that are just really, really nervous, there's medications for that
You don't
can help
muzzle.
to.
Do you muzzle?
If we have to, it keeps us from getting hurt, and
Right,
it does keep the
right.
animal from getting hurt. And sometimes we don't
But
have a
it's probably
choice.
not as prevalent as
Correct. It's not as
most-
common.
right.
It's not as common.
because of what you do.
Right.
You make it more of an enjoyment
Right,
thing.
right.
No, because I know my dog, she's out the door as soon as she smells it, and then she's out.
Well,
Because it's never, the first day she met this vet, they muzzled her.
Oh,
And this
my
is
goodness.
a puppy. And so ever since then, she's good now, but she's still She even her
Yeah, she's got a bad memory.
and you know, she associates the smells now
Right.
and the sounds with when they muzzled her. So, you know, and the first impressions.
Exactly.
And it's even with like us, with
Exactly.
us, first impressions mean
Exactly.
everything. So,
Exactly.
so I applaud you and I applaud
Thank
your
you.
vet for the
Thank
way
you.
that they, and you are the manager, so
I
you
am.
are
I
over
am.
it. So I applaud you.
Thank you.
And you've probably made life a whole lot easier for the humans and the animals.
That's the goal.
Because I know I get a nervous wreck taking her. And so, okay, well, it looks like it's about time to wrap up, but it doesn't seem like it's been 30
I know,
minutes.
it's gone by very
I want to
quickly.
invite you back. This has been such a powerful, knowledgeable 30 minutes.
Thank you.
We appreciate Chris. Thank you so much. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
And we're going to tune off right now. Shoulders back, head up. Unleashed is out. I'm going to be off next Tuesday. I'm going to be running a show that you've already seen, but still tune in. I will see you the Tuesday after. I'm not sure of the date, but just tune in and you'll see me. So, bye.